Hello, Capricorn. April Fools. Be careful on April 1st because the moon is square Saturn on that day. So you might find yourself involved in some April Fool's pranks. This month, Saturn is currently, already from last month, retrograde in Sagittarius. Now, Saturn is your ruling planet. So let's see how your ruler affects you this month, Capricorn. I'm Pastor Rosemary, the Astrology Angel. Thank you for joining us. This is an angelic horoscope transmission from your Capricorn angel, Hanael, who resides over your cardinal earth, nature. And these are his messages for you in love, money, and health. First, of course, the most important, the love transmission from Hanael. Now, what are you going to do about being the butt of jokes on the 1st? Simply don't get into it with your friends that are Cancers or also people with their moon in Capricorn or their moon in Aquarius or certain Pisces, especially those with Pisces who have their moon in Saturn. You don't want to get into it with these people because it's going back and forth. There's a volley of pranks being built up, and we're going to get to why it's extra difficult this month. We're going to get to that in a moment here, so stay tuned, because there's a total lunar eclipse, a blood moon, and that's why we're going to get to it here in a moment. But first, we want to get into your guardian angel, Uriel. Your guardian angel, yes, is Uriel, but that's not your teaching angel. Your guardian angel works through your teaching angel, Hanael, to help you understand things and help you be able to teach others. So, where Uriel rules over the earth signs, then for you specifically, it's an extra added focus through the lens of Hanael for you, Capricorn. So that's how this works. All right, now, on the 4th, there is a total lunar eclipse in Libra. Full moon, they happen on a full moon. Blood moons happen on a full moon. It's on the 4th. It's a blood moon. It's a total lunar eclipse. And it's in Libra. This blood moon is a 3rd in the tetrad. And it happens on Passover the 4th. And the next day is Easter Sunday, the 5th. This is going to be quite a wild time because these blood moons are intense. The next one, the 4th one in the tetrad, happens in September of 2015. So stay tuned to our channel and our presentations for that. It's going to be very exciting and very important. Okay. Now, since it's in Libra, what's going to happen, that's the scales that balance. And when that happens, people want revenge. However, heads up, they're not going to go after your ego. They're going to go after your soul, because a lunar eclipse goes after the soul, which is represented in Scripture by the word Israel. And that's in the Zohar. You can find that in the Zohar. Now, when it comes to solar eclipses, that's not this month, but just for your information, when it comes to a solar eclipse, that goes after the ego. And in Scripture, that's referred to as the nations. And you can find that in the Zohar. All right. So, you've got yourself all prepared, and you've got yourself all sort of buttressed in for some kind of possible, you feel somebody might try to, get at you, to hurt you in some way. But you have to remember they're not going to go after your ego on the blood moon. They're going to go after your soul. So you need to be aware of that. And this isn't really a time to clutch and grasp or a time to run away in fear. It's more of a time to be settled and follow your daily bylaws of whatever system you are locked into. Every system has laws. And if you simply plug into those laws and start your day off like that, you'll be just fine. Because Capricorn's really into laws and legal things and getting places, social climbing through painstaking work, and that's all very good. It's just that you don't want to get so caught up in that you cannot function. So just be aware, they're not going to go after your ego, they're going to go after your soul. On solar eclipses, they go after your ego. So it's good to know the difference between that. So it'd be good to start reading the Zohar. All right, because Jesus did. Jesus Christ read the Zohar, he read the book of Enoch, and people think he was illiterate. That's not true. He came from a wealthy family. Okay. Now, on the 18th, there's a new moon in Aries. And the new moon in Aries is going to put a bit of a damper on all of that fire for the purpose that usually people use their fiery Aries martial aspects for the purpose of confrontation and settling, especially settling old scores because of the Saturn retrograde in Sagittarius situation. So again, we're talking about love, and perception is everything in matters of love and family and friendship. Now when we get into, and health is similar because it's a perception. Money is a little more concrete, and that's why money's helpful, because money and possessions and property and all those kind of things show on a more concrete basis what people have. So what we don't want to do is get into a situation where, everybody thinks that perceptions don't matter. They do. But at the end of the day, those who can stand under whatever they've built, whatever bridge they've built, those who can stand under it, under their own constructs, do just fine. So make sure you can stand under your own rules, and then you'll be fine. Okay, now, as far as money goes, Hanael's money transmission for you Capricorn. On the 2nd, Mercury is trine Saturn, and that's good for brainstorming in matters of litigation or in matters of property management. And on the 6th, the Sun conjunct Saturn is good for success in litigation. So successful litigation, again, that Sun conjunct Saturn is more of a successful aspect for litigation and property management. Okay, now on the 15th, Venus is opposing Saturn, and the 15th of April, Venus opposing Saturn, that's also sort of a day that we all associate with tax season and kind of the last day and all that. That's not a very good aspect for money. It's just not a good aspect. So it's just not a good time. Not a good time. Not a good season. Not a good... Just with all these planetary aspects, it's not a good time for you to try to, not go squarely hand in hand with exact laws. Stick with your laws. Just make sure you got everything legally, wrapped up nice and tight, and make sure that, you're not fudging in any of these areas. This is just not a good time for that. It's not a good time to be greedy. It's not a good time to be anxious either. It's just a good time to walk through things purposefully, in a relaxed manner, keeping yourself comfortable at all times, and following your disciplines that you know. And you don't have to go extra fast. Because if you go too fast, you're just going to miss something. Okay, now, your health matters, Capricorn. On this Saturn retrograde in Sagittarius, the perception that you're not healing as quickly as you'd like to, or that your healing has gone backwards in some manner. That's only a perception. That's because of this Saturn retrograde in Sagittarius, because Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter is that which rules health and wealth. So you see, if it's retrograde, if your ruler is retrograde in Sagittarius, you're going to feel like you're going backwards. You can have a little bit of relief from that on the 30th, when the moon is sextile Saturn, and that's going to give you a little bit of a more clearing of the lungs. And also, a lot of what you're perceiving as your problems becoming more difficult are simply psychosomatic and also a reaction to environmental factors. And being overly concerned about environmental factors and not seeing the good in everything, because there's always something good. I mean, every medicine is simply a poison given in therapeutic doses, are they not? Besides, 90% of all medicines are placebos anyway. They just didn't tell you that. So, you need to understand that all disease is psychosomatic, basically. And anybody can get beyond it if they accept the emotional reasons that cause the psychosomatic reactions to, or bodily reactions to, all the other things in their life. That's why we go love, money, and health, because people react to love first, and they injure themselves for love. Then they injure themselves financially for love, and then they finally injure their health for love and finances. Health is the last thing people usually take care of, and luckily it seems that people are taking better care of themselves. And Capricorn is good at that. Capricorn has good health, and Capricorns are good to help people stay healthy. You are cardinal Earth, and we want to thank Capricorn for that. Now, for your afterglow, these are just some areas we've highlighted. We don't put every single aspect in here, but we put the ones that we feel are the most important, because the inconstant moon gets a bit much putting all the aspects. But we put most of some of the lunar ones and most of the other planet, or all of the other planetary aspects, actually. But what you need to understand is, well, all is a word one should never use, most of them. But the point is, a very wise adept, Rosicrucian adept, once told me, he once said that when he does Rosicrucian tarot, if he gets the moon card, he says the whole reading is worthless and starts all over again, because he doesn't trust the moon. So I just thought I'd throw that in, because it was an interesting perception on his part. It always stayed with me. Now, on the 1st, Luna square Saturn. On the 2nd, Mercury is trine Saturn. On the 6th, the Sun is conjunct Saturn. On the 15th, Venus opposes Saturn. On the 28th, the Moon is square Saturn. And on the 30th, the Moon is sextile Saturn. And remember that right now, currently, it happened last month, Saturn is currently retrograde in Sagittarius. You may feel you're going backwards in some of the things that you're upset about. But just settle down. It'll all be all right after the planet Saturn goes direct again. So just hold your horses and don't get all upset over nothing. All right. Thank you for joining us, Capricorn. I'm Pastor Rosemary, the Astrology Angel, and join us again next month.